Okay, morning, fellow zombies. Are we alive yet? Are we awake yet? It's about 2:45 in the morning, West Coast time. Saturday is the 9th of December, 2023. The Weaver Agency of Roseman, California. So, Texas. Texas is getting one of those case laws over here. It's going to be challenging everything. An abortion. One woman's fight, not to mention there's been other women's fights, but this one particular case has got national attention on this one. To where that if she don't get this abortion that she's gonna die. The fetus is gonna die, and the courts are going like, ooh, in Texas because of Roe versus Wade got canceled out. All states are scrambling on this one. The conservative states are like, yay, now we can put a lockdown on abortions. Save the child, save the child, no matter if it's going to be a mutilated fetus coming out of a woman's body or not. Even if the woman dies, they're like, so what? We got another body out there, don't we? At least they're not murdered. No, they just come out dead. That's about it. I try to stay clear of this one. I mean, this is one of those kind of things. My mother would get me involved in this one. She was very much pro-choice. She did have an abortion. Between me and my brother, there was supposed to be another child, but unfortunately, it was born dead. Back in the late '60s, they didn't have, or actually, it was early to mid '60s. They didn't have the technology we have to try to keep life going. I would have been either tail end Charlie or something else. If I had been aborted because of my heart condition, if they actually found out back then and had the technology, would my mother been able to keep it? I would assume that keeping my brother was a choice. And trying to keep the stillborn alive would have been another one, but they really didn't have anything to keep him alive. This was back in the '60s. They didn't have the technology enough or the knowledge enough. And then there was me with my heart condition, with my crooked limbs. If they had the technology back then, would I have been aborted? I was born a month too early. I was born in January. I should have been born in February. But I came out. And when they found out I had the crooked limbs, they put me in braces. And it took them almost 4 years to figure out I had leaky plumbing. I was sick. They did have the crippled children's insurance at the time, but Mom still had to pay for half this stuff. She barely afforded rent and food and bills and stuff. A gentleman who I owe my life to, Stan Myers. I owe my life to him. He helped Ma out. It would have been a father in our family, but he didn't. He was going to, he was also going through family situations as well, shall I say it. But if he had proposed to Ma and it went through, I would have been having a father. I'd have stepbrothers, and my brother would have left. Some darker sides of a father that really upset my brother at that point. Long stories on those. But I would have been safe. The age of 4 years old is when a sharp-eared cardiologist heard. It put me through life-saving ordeals. Yeah, that did kill me a few times, but came back to life, and I'm still alive. And he was still. I liked the guy. I really did. God rest his soul. I think I liked the brothers. I just never could remember what the hell their names were. Sucked. My brother had apologized to him decades later, shortly before he passed. Anyway, Ma still would have allowed women to have choices and would have gone ape over the Roe versus Wade disintegration. The courts, the conservative court this time, took out a law that should have been helping women out left and right. Which brings us back to Texas. Texas is getting conservative worse and worse, locking down people's choices left and right and options. Women have to go outside states, different states, to get abortions if they have to, if they can travel. But if not, their health is being threatened left and right. Hence this one particular woman's case coming up. The doctor said that if she was going to give term, then there's no chance she probably would have lived, and neither would the child. To save her life, the doctors wanted to do the abortion, but unfortunately, you got a crazy AG out there who's hell bent on killing a woman by saving her stillborn fetus's condition. He's going to be born dead, but he's going to be born by God. Bastard. He's got a revenge kick going on. So I'm still trying to get the information whether or not if the Supreme Court of Texas, if there is such a Supreme Court of Texas, whether or not she can have the abortion to save her life, because it is extraordinary circumstances. I've been waiting for the stuff. So, according to what news, I'm hoping I'm getting this interpretation right. CNN was reporting Texas Supreme Court temporarily blocks woman from emergency abortion, which means probably the Texas Attorney General is having kittens over this one, and not to mention he's having fun over this one. I may be misinterpreting this whole situation here. There was a lower court, and I'm trying to see whether or not the lower court actually allowed it first before the Texas court said, screw you. And the Texas Supreme Court blocked it. So she can't have it. Because they have to review more about it, but it'll happen next year. So basically, she's going to die. Because Texas is so fond of preserving life, they're willing to kill for it. Backward ass country. Super twits. The lower court would have allowed this woman to have the abortion to save her ass, to save her life. case would remain pending before them, but did not include any timeline on when a full ruling might be issued. She's 20 weeks pregnant. This is going to force the doctors to do something that they're not going to like. They're going to throw their reputations out there, and they're going to hopefully tell the Attorney General, who's gotten way up above his own damn rank there. He wasn't ordered. He did this on his own. He threatened the hospital. He threatened the doctors. You do this. You save her life, and I'm going to end your careers. I'm going to throw you all in jail. I'm going to do everything I can to ruin your lives. And this is basically what the Attorney General in Texas is doing right now. He's got the power of God, he thinks, in his hands. Retribution for all those people who have harmed me. Now I get to harm the Texas at this point over here because you dared throw me out of my power. Remind me never, ever to go into Texas. Because I don't want to deal with a bunch of cluster twits. There was supposed to have been a lawsuit happening. There was supposed to have been some kind of court ruling, something to get rid of the Attorney General. And apparently, that didn't happen. So the Attorney General's on this power kick. Threatening doctors who is going to try to preserve this woman's life. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because you happen to have an abortion in Texas, you might as well kiss everyone else's career and life goodbye, because they're going to do everything they can to preserve that stillborn, dead kid coming out of a woman. Because that's more important than anything else. She won't have another kid. She may not even survive. If, by any chance, that she happens to live from the birth, she's not going to have any more kids. She won't. She may not even have any life period. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I wish I was. But then again, I'm here in California. And she's no condition to travel. I would think the doctors would have to do everything else they can to keep her comfortable, to keep her stabilized. But the kid's going to die. I would admire the doctor's tenacity for preserving life. In situations regarding the woman, that would be putting it into something personal for me. What happens if my own mother wanted to preserve her life more than her kids? And the thing is, growing up with my mother, she would have killed herself. She would have allowed the kid to be born. But she still wants to have the women make that choice. She fought for Roe v. Wade. She wanted that law to give women a choice. Mom made her choice. I didn't have another brother. I was born dead. I'd never know the person. I was grateful I knew my brother. So yeah, it is personal for me. And technology back in the 60s, it just wouldn't allow it. They didn't know enough. They didn't have anything or to save life like that, I guess. But now this, The Supreme Court of Texas has decided a woman doesn't have any choices. She's going to die. If she survives, it'll be a bloody miracle. I'm waiting right now for CNN to come out so I can get something on here. So I'm just watching and waiting. I'm going to switch on other things too. I can't stand it when they're talking about politics. I wanted to see more about the abortion situation in Texas. If the networks are going to be picking up on it. This is important. I'm going to put this on pause until I get that story out here. As I was reading further and further into CNN's text on this one, apparently the AG just doesn't care. Texas A&G doesn't care. He's threatened 3 hospitals and doctors over there if they happen to perform the abortion necessary to save this woman's life. They're going to be facing reprehensible repercussion. They're going to be, it's like they're going to get fire and brimstone. There's a genetic anomaly in this kid. Kid's not going to live outside the mother's womb. Doctors want to save both lives, but they can't. They want to save the woman's life, at least her ability also to have kids. But being a staunch conservative pain in the ass and a control freak, the Attorney General is saying, no, this is Texas law. We want that kid. To put people in danger in this one. Texas has just basically shut down all choice. People will be born. It's that simple, even if they're coming out dead. Of course, they have a problem concerning about this. You murdered millions of kids coming out, or in a woman. We have to save everybody now. At the expense of the woman. Well, who cares? The one newborn's got to be born. And I suppose in my case, it would have been aborted if I was going to be a threat to my mother. Well, then, I'd be a threat to my mother. I could have been, but I wasn't. I was born with crooked limbs, and they had to be straightened. But they didn't know at the time what the heart condition was until a few years later when the technology was getting better and there's sharp ears that can actually hear what was going on. And I think they actually did have a little bit of technology enough to where they'd stick a scope to my heart to find out what the hell was going on and see what the hell they can do. Of course, being a scared 4-year-old, what the hell did I know? If Ma knew that I had a heart condition, would she still accepted me in the first place? There was no way to know. And there was also no way to know whether or not I've actually had brain damage or not. They wanted to see if the neural functions are working. And limbs were moving. I was listening to things. Be testing my reflexes. Follow the finger. Okay, fine. Can you say something intelligent coming out of your mouth? Go, go, gaga. Until I started learning language after that. And hearing people cursing and cussing up until the age of 4 years old, I think that was a regular way of people talking to each other. These days, I wonder whether or not if cursing was normal or not. Sometimes when I get into my own logs, I curse and cuss like crazy. And not realizing on some occasions it's the wrong way of talking to people left and right. I wondered if I was born brain dead or something like that, or just, I don't know, mentally off. Shit, you die a few times as a kid and come back to life. Let's see how you face it. I had an issue over it. I died. I came back, and I'm supposed to be normal after that. And then I had to take it easy on myself growing up. Patch on one heart, another leak still going crazy. So yeah, I didn't have the energy like I should have, and another one sewn up. But they always had to said, take it easy, John, take it easy. I played like crazy as a kid. But I didn't go out for sports. I didn't go out for games, and I was always tired. Every so often, they had to take me over to the doctor's office to listen to the heart, see what the hell was going on. I had to explain to people when they saw my scar. I was maybe embarrassed sometimes, but other times I showed it up like a damn war chest, or actually a trophy. Look at me! I had open heart surgery. Ah, yeah, right. So, would Ma have kept my brother? My brother wasn't physically screwed up. Mentally, it's a different story altogether. But that was the things he was going through in life that Ma had to get him some help for. But he was born normal. He was firstborn. He was born healthy. I was the one with a medical problem. So what would have happened if I was born in Texas right here and right now? Or actually, if they actually had the conservative rulings that they have right now back then? It probably still would have saved my life, and Ma probably would have been in trouble during those days. But I was born, she was okay. After that, she didn't have any more kids, so. So, I don't get it. I don't get it with this conservative crap going on. I don't get it with her. I really don't. Oh, CNN is actually going to have the story for it. Good. I'll be able to do a second video on this one, hopefully. And I'll get some information on it. So, they go to commercial break. So, I'll talk to another on a video here.